See, it's water down there as far as the eye can see. It's beautiful. Hello, welcome back to the descent and approach and landing of the Virtual Pilot Life. This is license number or exam number 10, and to be honest, this is going to determine whether we get the license or not. So if not, then I'd have to repeat this by doing the return. Obviously not today, but yeah, we'd be doing it with the return. So where are we in our flight plan? So we're just coming over to LOTAV thing there. We are far from our destination. Even top of descent, we're not that far away. We're about 200 miles, I think, off top of descent. Our top of descent, it says here, is just after Mexam, just before Depok. And we've got like 75. Yeah, about 250 miles to go, maybe 300 miles to go before that top of descent. Project Fly states that we will be on the ground in 1 hour and 2 minutes. We shall see. The local time at the moment is 2:27, which is what time it is in Dubai. So yeah, it's I reckon we'll be on the ground by about 4 p.m. myself, maybe 3 p.m. So, and that's the Dubai local time. So yeah, it's I mean, not much has happened. The flight's been, pretty standard, really. Still got a couple of warnings here. In fact, the pumps for the fuel, actually, we could attend to them. They could be turned off. Them tanks have been drained, same as the center ones. So that should at least clear some of these warnings, I think. Yeah. I think so anyway. Like, I'm gonna clip these on and see if that makes any difference. I've always had these they're gone now. The Overlord warnings or whatever, they were always gone. So in fact, let's just kind of do a quick fuel check, shall we? So if we look at our flight plan, it's got all the waypoints on there. So right now we are at the LOTAV, or on the way to the LOTAV waypoint, which is right here. So we're in between these two waypoints here. 68.4 and 61.2 tons of fuel is what we should have, somewhere in that bracket, probably around 62, 63. If we actually have a look, we've actually got 70.7, so we're all right for fuel. We got plenty of fuel for our routes, which, by the way, I mean, you can actually see the airport off into the distance. This green dot here is our top of descent. So I mean, it's like 320 miles off top of descent, so which is about 400 miles off the actual airport itself. So like, we're not doing too bad, considering what we took off at let's see, it was about 6 a.m. wasn't it? 5 a.m. in the morning in Australia time. 12-hour flight. We're not doing too bad. It's going okay. So let's have a look at our approach now, because we did fester this in. So the approach actually is in here. We did that down on the ground in Melbourne. So we descend down. We've got an altitude restriction here of 12,000 feet at the Imped waypoint. Again at 11,000 and 10,000 and 8,000. So we have to just make sure that we're above those altitudes, or I think is that below? It's below, yeah. You have to make sure you're below 11,000 and below 10,000 and then below 8,000. Descending on down, just sort of very easily, really, isn't it? It's not a very steep descent by the looks of it. There's like 4 miles between each waypoint here, which I'm sure some of these can actually get snipped off, because if you remember, it does a snaky thing before it goes into the airport. In fact, if we bring up our plan mode, we can I'll show you. So this does this snaky thing here. Now I'm hoping we can go straight from here to here without having to do Don't know the reason for that. But that approach is very strange. Now, if there's a reason for that, like we have to because of traffic, then we will. But if we can get away with not doing that, that would save a whole heap of time and fuel. So, and then it's basically down into the runway, which is runway 30 right. We'll be landing on, and we're going to allow the plane to really basically take me to the runway and get me to that threshold by flying it on the on its auto land sequence, and then literally we're just going to flare it at the end. So got no warnings up here. It says press these again. I don't know if I press these again or not, but I don't know. I still need to read up on the old 747, the Queen of the Skies. I'm not that well versed in it, to be fair. So let's have a look at our approach, shall we? If we bring over the chart for the approach. So this is our approach chart here, and it's got all the information we need for it, including the airport elevation data, the runway elevation, and the landing procedure. So our height we have to be at by SSD, which is right here at the threshold of the approach glide into the runway, is 2,000 feet in the air. 2,000 feet, and then at mandatory, which is this spot here, literally threshold of the runway, we basically start to descend on in. And it just goes from down until you hit the runway. There are no special really considerations here, but the I think this is the altitude thing for the airplane, which is 260. But to be honest, on the 747, I don't know where that's entered, because usually there's a dial here on the 767 and a dial up here on other planes, but there is no indication for where that actually sits. So I'm not really sure. I'm assuming that it's dialed into this, but I don't know, because I've set everything that needs to be set here. So this is our cruise at the moment, and it doesn't have anything like that. But then on our descent, this is that. So I mean, I can only assume it's on an arrival page maybe, but this is literally just the route into the airport, not the... Maybe it's under approach. Oh, we could do with setting our flap speed. So 152 knots is our landing speed at full flaps, which we will be using full flaps. Gross weight will be 618, and that's it. There's no other page. That's it. That's all the information. So yeah, I'm not really sure where that goes, you know. Progress for fuel. Calculated fuel shows you how much we're burning, and whatever this is, I don't know. So yeah, I'm not really sure where that goes, but anyway, I have landed this before without having to set that, so we should be okay. I'm sure we'll be fine. At the end of the day, 747 is exactly a plane that I plan to fly regularly. But that gives me plenty of time to read up on it, materials and that, so as long as this license goes smooth, then that's the main thing. So yeah, it's just now we're waiting basically for our top of descent, which, as you can see, is still like 200 miles off, so it's still a way to go. Right there's our top of descent here. So we got 1, 2, 3 waypoints to go before we hit it. Fast approaching. Within an hour we'll be down, so it says. So I tell you what, while we wait, let me just go through the Virtual Pilot Life program. The Virtual Pilot Life program is where's my chart? There. Get that off the other screen. The Virtual Pilot Life program is a a program that you can go through with flight simulation. It works with P3D, any version, FSX, X-Plane, the new Microsoft Flight Sim, any simulator that has commercial planes within it. And it's a 3-phase course. So you'd start off on ground school, and there's a link down below in the description if you want to join ground school. And all ground school teaches you is how to set up your PC for flight simulation, how to get the most out of your simulator, what settings, what kinds of planes will you be flying, what kind of simmer will you be, and setting up your PC in that exact way. It's got some great tutorial videos, and that's all ground school is prepping you for flight simulation. And then you go into flight school. Flight school is a 7 license phase flight school. It's I'm doing the last one. I'm doing the airline transport pilot license. Oh, it's a mouthful. Which is the final license before you progress into phase 3 of the virtual pilot life, the career mode, which I'll get to in a moment. But the licenses, it teaches you the basics of flight. And that's flight in flight simulation, not in the real world. The only thing that flight simulation really doesn't simulate is the G-forces applied to your body and brain when you are flying and maneuvering aircraft, which can alter your decision making when you're actually in that, moment. You don't get that in flight simulation. Even with moving simulators, you don't get the G-force effect. So, but really, it does simulate almost everything else. It's pretty accurate. I would probably say it's 90% accurate to what pilots actually have to go through in their training, and the virtual pilot life just replicates that. But you can't use it. It's not a it's no replacement for real world training, and you can't really utilize the knowledge in the real world legally. So it's all virtually. So you start off as you do your private pilot's license, your instrument rating. It does follow the training of real life pilots, and you work your way through all the licenses, and you'll learn the different types of planes, like single engine, double engine, jets, 4 engines, even a tri-engine. You'll get to play with them all, and as long as you can find some software that can track and log your flights, so you can either do it manually if you really wanted to, but you really do need to find some software. I personally use Project Fly, but there's also FS Flight Control that will log your landing rates. Also Sim Toolkit Pro, I think it's called, that will also have the same function as Project Fly. But that's what I use. It logs my flights. This is it here. It tracks not only the sort of where you are in the world, the altitude you're at, your heading, everything about your flight, but it tells you how long to your destination, like how long you've got in miles. So we've got 4,000 nautical miles to travel. Oh, sorry, 428 nautical miles to go before we land. And we're doing an IFR flight. It's got loads of other things as well that you can do. You've got a crosswind calculator, a scratch pad that you can enter information into for the ATC traffic. It's really handy, and I utilize that for my flights. So yeah, once you do your licenses, you then progress into the captain's world, as it were, of or the trainee first officer, and you get a job with an airlines and you start flying. And the more you fly, the more planes you'll unlock, the career ladder you will go up, and you will eventually hit captain. And it's all done in real time. So however long it takes a real pilot to get from trainee first officer to captain is how long it's going to take you to do the same in the virtual pilot life. It's a replication of a career. So right now I'm a trainee first officer cadet myself. So I'm doing like a full flight. This one's a cargo, but it would have passengers on if it was a passenger flight. Yeah, this is true to an exact first officer flight situation. Only the fact I'm sitting in the captain's seat, he's let me. So yeah. But yeah. And then, that's it really. You just continue to earn medals and awards just like real pilots do as they progress through their career. And yeah, and have fun along the way, and you get to see some really interesting airports that you may not have flown to had you not been on this program, because all the airports are pre-selected. It's like a route book that you'll be given, and you just choose your contracts, choose your route, away you go. And you can even make your own jobs up if you want to. There's a section of the course that there's a section of the program that I'm working on right now, which introduces the ability for the user to create their own contracts for their friends to fly. So I could contract you to go deliver me flowers, you know. First you got to pick them up, so you got to fly there, and then you have to deliver them to their destination, and it'll always be like, you know, things you have to do. So it's got to be delivered within 12 hours, you know, so that's up to you then to make that happen, you know. But for every contract you do, you'll get double the points for your flight to go towards your career. So there's the incentive to do those, as opposed to the route book ones. So yeah, anyway, I think what we're gonna do is let's have a look at how far we are off this top of descent here, because we can start running through checklists if we're not too far off. About 150 miles off our top of descent. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the video here, and when we're about 30 miles off our top of descent, I'll bring us back in. Alright, see you in a moment. Okay, so I thought I'd bring us back a little bit earlier, because we're just about to come into that border. This line of sand you see is basically Saudi Arabia. So we're coming into that land where Dubai is. And to be honest, from this point to the top of descent isn't actually that far to go. So I thought I'd bring us back a little bit early, and we can have a look at our procedures. So we checked over the chart already. We kind of know what we're expecting there in terms of our landing. That's fine. But one thing I didn't do is the fuel check, which is another thing we need to have a look at. So let's bring up our flight plan and have a look. So right now we are at the Emru. We're 58 miles from the Emru, which is just down here. So when that 57, I mean, we did do a fuel check, didn't we? We had plenty of fuel. It says 63.8, which is well above what it said before we were even at Gobler. So we know we have plenty of fuel. So we're burning it just fine. We already had sorted out our arrival as well, so we know exactly what we're doing. Our top of descent by my FMC has changed slightly to, actually no it hasn't, it's still Depok, but that's only down to 33. Actually no, we actually need to descend down to 33 now, by the looks of it. So let's set that now. We're at 39,000, so we just set this for 33,600, and flight change it, and it'll start descending now as down. So, and we stay at this until we hit that Amata now it is, and then we can go down even further. Start our proper descent. So this is just like a step climb, I guess. See some landscape down there as we come over. Nothing but sand down there, isn't it? So yeah, probably say we're about 140 miles away from our top of descent, or it looks more like 160 though. So it's about 40 minutes and we'll be on the ground. I think that's more like an hour and we'll be on the ground. That's really dropping fast, isn't it? There's not much else to do either in terms of checklists and whatnot. The approach checklist is pretty basic. You know, I'll just run through what it is now, but we won't be doing it for a while. Check the ATIS at the airport. Check your FMC arrivals and procedure, which we've already done that, to be fair. Do your briefing, which is what you speak with your co-pilot. Recall, I'm not sure what recall means, but altimeters at TL, which is your transition level. Ours is 10,000, so we just set our altimeter to what the airport is. VREF speeds, which we kind of already done. We know what our landing flaps are set at. Minimas, which is the one thing I don't really... I think it's this thing up here. You just push that button to do that. I'm not really sure. Passenger signs would go on. Your auto brakes would be set, which are down here. And the landing lights would go on as well at 10,000 feet. So, a pretty basic approach, really. But as I say, this is the 10th and final exam. It's a 12-hour flight time. So, the airline transport pilot license, the requirements for even starting this is you must have a private pilot or a solo flight and an instrument rating, cargo, transport, multi-engine license, as well as the commercial certificate in order to continue. And you can use any twin-engine aircraft such as Boeing 727, or an Airbus. Obviously, for the 12-hour flight, none of those planes would make it, which is why we're in the 747. It says there are 7 exams in this course, even though there's 10, but 7 of them are done as a cadet. And some exams may only take 2 or 3 hours to complete in full from start to finish. There is no instructor to hold your hand this time. Simply watch the videos and follow along in your own flight to complete the exams. Once you complete lesson 7, which we've already done, you will qualify for graduating flight school and embark on your career. You may condense the first 4 exams into one flight if you wish, for 1 or more airports. The final 3 exams must be flown from the right-hand side of the aircraft. Each flight in this course must start from cold and dark and end as cold and dark to qualify as completed. A landing rating of -300 or less is needed in order to pass. Well, we're not on the right-hand side of the seat, as you can see. I mean, that's only because this is like the second time I've flown the 747, so I should have more flights under my belt first before attempting this. It's a bit naughty to be trying for your license in a plane you've barely flown, and it doesn't matter if you're licensed for the plane or not. So when you're doing an exam, you're allowed to fly it, even if you've only got, say, 5 hours of your licensed aircraft time. And what I mean by that is, when you start your career mode, which I officially already have, I can go work for an airline. Now, I've already begun working for cargo airlines, which is, I think, part of the reason why I'm hauling cargo today. But I can't go get a job for, say, Delta or American Airlines or British Airways hauling people until I complete my licenses. So, and in order to even begin that as well, I have to be licensed for my aircraft. And that requires me to have 25 hours or more flying time inside my plane, which is why I recommend Project Fly, because it tracks how many hours you've done in each plane. So I can see exactly how much I've done in the 747. And as soon as I hit 25 hours, I can take passengers once I complete this flight. So it's super important that I pass this lesson, this test, as it were, this exam. It's super important that I do that, because once I do, then that's it. I can actually start hauling passengers, you know. And I already am rated in a couple of planes. I've already racked up 25 hours or more in the 737 and the 767. So as soon as, like, if I pass today, I could start flying for an airliner tomorrow and start hauling people, you know. And I passed my license for those planes with Jet2, Delta, EasyJet, and British Caledonia, so I could work for any one of them airlines. But I'd be stuck to that plane if I did. You know, same with the cargo planes. I'm stuck with them planes that I flew. And again, you have to be, you don't have to be rated for the airplane to haul cargo. But when you do get rated for your planes, all your points and awards that you earn for each flight go towards my career ladder. Anything before I'm licensed for a plane in the cargo side does not go towards my career ladder. So it's a great, cargo running is a great way to rack up points for your career mode. It sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So it's all good fun. Right, so let's have a look, shall we? Where are we? Let me see. Top of descent is coming up now, so we shall now run through. It is like 90 miles off, but we'll run through our checklist right now, so we're done and prepared. So, ATIS, check the ATIS on the airport. So let's have a look at active sky for Dubai. It says that there are 13 knots of wind blowing at 340. We are landing on runway 30, so we're gonna have a nice headwind for our landing. The QNH is 1003, so we can actually set that now. 1003. 10. Come on, there we go. Oh. 1003. There we go. That's set now. What's going on here with me? No, that's still 33600. Yeah, that's just descending me down to it. So that's that done. There's no precipitation. Temperature's 37 degrees. Visibility is 10 miles or more. Scattered at that's it really. Local time 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's honestly it's a really clear day, basically, is what they're saying, which is no big shock horror for Dubai. No big surprise. I can't wait to see what it looks like, to be fair. I think this is probably the first time I've actually flown into Dubai, and especially with the 747, so I can't wait. So we're coming up to our top of descent soon. So, okay, so the rest of the approach briefing, FMC arrivals procedure, we have done it, and this is going to be the briefing that I do now. So, we start our descent at the Amata waypoint, which is in about 70 to 80 miles, and it's basically a slow descent down, going through until we hit the Imped waypoint, which is a 12,000 below restriction, so we have to be below 12,000 by the time we hit Imped. So as long as we stick to our flight plan, we can achieve that. And then of course we have to be down below 10,000 by the time we get to this waypoint, which I think is one of the waypoints when we decide to split. Actually, we could probably start descending now. Yeah, so if we at Imped, we could literally go from Imped to D8506. Let me just because if we start descending now, we wouldn't need to do the turnaround. So let me see here. B506 direct from Imped, which means we could probably start descending it now. So let's get into here. So 506 is where is it? It's probably quite far on. There it is, 506. So if I take that one and copy that up to the one before Imped, or the one after Imped rather, which is here, execute that in 2, and now we go directly in, it's now going to give us our new flight plan. So we can now see what our top of descent is, which I think new top of descent is still a mat. But we just haven't got all that run around. So it actually hasn't changed our top of descent profile. It's still the same. Yeah. It's still at the same spot. Okay. It just means we don't have to do as many turns now, because that's not on our flight plan, and that's not in as part of that. So that was just a part of the arrivals. So I'm sure there's probably a reason we had to stick to that actually. But anyway, we just go directly into it now. So below 12,000 by the time we get to Imped. And then there's a 3,000 above restriction when we get to Oldot. So basically, when I reset my thing for this, I just need to reset it to like 13,000 at first. Oh, sorry, 11,000 at first for when we do our descent. So we can actually do that now. So if we put that down to 11,000, that will take me down and make sure I don't go below that. Because we have to be below 12,000 when we get to Imped. We'll probably be lower actually by the time we get there. Actually, we might as well set it for 3,000 because it's a below restriction, not above. So we might as well just set that for 3,000. Right, which is coming up soon. Got 80 miles to our top of descent. Right, next thing on the approach, the briefing. So yeah, stepping down basically all the way down to the runway. My plan is to engage the auto land procedure of this plane and let that approach and ILS it down to the runway, and then literally 200-300 feet above the runway, I'm going to take control, nose up, and land the plane for a nice soft -300 or better landing. You know what, I'm not even sure if a 747 can make, if it's possible for it to make a -300 or better landing, but we'll soon find out. Altimeters, we've done them. The VREF speeds should be set. Minimas, again, I'm not really sure how to do that. Auto brakes, we can do that now. We're going to have auto brake 2, I think, for this one. And landing lights on at 10,000 feet. That is the descent and approach checklist complete. So we can put that away now until our landing checklist. So, coming up to it. We've got some beautiful beautiful scenery here. Lovely hills and deserts, towns down there, houses, caves, whatever. So if we were on a passenger plane, I'd do an announcement right now. I'd be like, hello, gentlemen, this is your captain speaker, and we're about 22 minutes away from Dubai. It's a nice hot 27 degrees down there, so get your shorts out and jump into the pool. Captain will be splashing down, hopefully. Nice and smooth for you. So, but we're on a cargo plane, so we haven't got any of that to worry about. And our fuel is doing fine. Engines are burning fine. It says fuel quantity low, but that's fine. We're actually fine for it. Everything's good. Turn the brightness up a bit on these. Can't bloody see. Yep. Yeah, all the lights are off. Turn them all off. Don't need any of these lights on now. It's daytime, man. Man, this plane's been flying forever. So there's like a little bay here that you just nip across, and then the airport's on the other side. The POC's coming up. There's our top of descent there, 40 miles away. Okay, so top of descent time, just hit the flight change and our plane starts to descend. Actually no, that's not a way to do it either. We can go into VNAV and we can hit descent directly, I think. And then that should descend us down according to the flight plan. So, yep, there we go. The other way was to do flight change 3000 and then we basically watch it and monitor it and all that, but this way we don't. So according to Project Flight, on the ground in 15 minutes. I think it's probably going to be more like double that. We're now descending down, so we're waiting for our transition level is 10,000 feet, where we switched from standard and turn on the landing lights. We are landing at runway 30 left. Left? I thought it was right. Hang on a second. "30 right, dude. 30 right. I got the wrong ILS approach chart up." That changes everything. Right. Actually, it changes nothing. Sorry. Yeah, it's the same approach chart, just for, yeah, the same. It's fine. I did bring up the wrong approach chart, but I mean the runways are right next to each other. We're fine, but we are pretty high, to be honest. I mean, I'm pretty sure our descent will be affected. Like going straight from this imped to the D, cutting all that sort of stuff out, I'm not sure if we're going to be down in time, to be fair. So we might have to we might actually have to reinstigate that, although it's too late now. Maybe we should have descended before. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. If not, we just do a little loop-de-loop at imped if we're not at the appropriate height, which according to this should be 11,000 feet. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see when we get to imped what it says. So I'll switch this to 20 miles now and monitor it. Actually no, 40. 80? Yeah, I want to be able to see where we turn. When we get to imped, when we do that turn, I'll turn it down at 20. That's it really. We're now just we're riding the wave down into the airport, basically. That's all we're doing. We checked the weather. We've done everything we can. There's nothing else to really do except for our landing lights and resetting the altitude. And also our flaps. So when we get down to a speed of 280, which it technically is now, we could actually utilize that now and set flaps 1. But we won't. In fact, what we will do is arm the speed brake. So that's just arming it. That's, yeah. So that will slow us down a little bit as well. I think our speed should be, yeah, 253, which is what it is. So, I mean, really, we didn't need to even do that. But flaps 1 can be set at 280 knots. Flaps 5 at 260. We could literally go to flaps 5 now if I wanted to. We'll save it. If it starts to increase our speed because of our descent, then I will. $27,000 feet. Clouds everywhere. Thought it would be not as cloudy, to be honest. So we get to this Puxel, it should be down at 28,500 feet. Well, we're 26, so we're actually descending. Oh no, hang on. 20,000, sorry, 20,000. It should be 20,000 feet when we get to this Puxel, which it probably will be. We haven't got those insane altitude restrictions now, so yeah, we'll be fine. Just gotta watch the speed. That's the only thing. Like, speed is beginning to increase minutely. So let's just check the time at Dubai, if that's, we've got the correct time here. In Dubai right now it is 3:24, and that's the time we have got. Plenty of time. Here's the bay over here, so the airport literally is just here somewhere. So yep, just past the Puxel. 20,000. Oh, we're slightly high. We're about 3,000 feet higher than we actually need to be. So I'll tell you what we will do. We will go flaps 5, just to slow us down a little bit. Because yeah, we're not on our profile like we should be. But we might be able to make it up maybe here, because it says between these 2 points I need to have dropped 4,000 down to 7 in like 26 miles, so we might be able to make that up. So maximum landing weight is 285, which we just check our landing. Where is it? Arrival. No. 603. I don't know. That's pounds or kilograms. I don't know. I might have to do a conversion here. Maximum. Maximum landing. Maximum landing weight. Just do a conversion on that. So I think that's in kilograms. So we want kilograms, 2 pounds, and it was what, 285? 285,763. 285,763. 630. Yeah, we're well within that limit. That's fine. So our landing weight, sorry, is correct. We were not heavy landing or anything like that, so that's good. Oh, hello. That's coming up fast. Right, it's now increasing, so we've recovered, I think, there. So I think we could definitely do with slowing down a little bit. That needs to decrease, really. I'm going to set my set the standard now. There we go. That's set now to what it should be, but there we go. It's decreasing it now. That's fine. Flaps 10 is 240, so oh, a little bit of a gust there. It's gone crazy again. Is this come off or something? No, we're still on VNav and LNav. Should be 11,000 feet. Oh, that's why it's going crazy, because we're actually too high. Yeah, so it's trying to catch up by rushing us to the ground. It's fine. It's okay. We're only a cargo plane at the end of the day. Just desert as far as the eye can see here. Look at this. Won't want to be lost out here. My gosh, right. That's a caution for something. Speed brakes. Must be too fast for the speed brakes, so disarm them for the time being. So that's a 20 now. 11,000. So our next waypoint, we need to be at 7,000 feet by. I do think we're perhaps like a couple of thousand feet too high on our descent here, but I think we're going to be okay come the actual runway. Which our runway is somewhere in front of us, to be fair, or no, somewhere over here. We have a look at the future. The runway's right here. So it's now just doing that turn to line up with the approach. We just got to make sure our speed don't run away with us. So we will rearm the speed brakes in a moment. I want to flip on the landing lights now, and that's approach checklist complete now. So the landing checklist is basically arm your speed brakes, lower your landing gear, set your flaps as required, notify the cabin, and land the sucking plane. Sorry, land the sucker. So yeah, the airport's here. And our runway runs this way, so we're literally going to come in and then turn to come in. So yeah, it's all good. 10,000 feet now. Should be at 7. We're losing speed. Go flaps 10. Plane is constantly playing catch up here. Probably because we cut its landing off by a little bit here. So there's the airport, the threshold of that runway. So this is the beginning marker where it's DB759. So that's the beginning of our descent where we have to be at 3,000 by, or the Lovell, I think it is, marker. Which means, yeah. Which means we have to be by 3,000 feet by then, which I'm pretty sure we'll do. Keep it at 20 miles for the time being, and we'll take it down to 10. So turning on our approach now, so this is it now. Our airport should be almost dead ahead. There's the runway. In sight now. Beautiful. Right, so we're on the approach as soon as this straightens up. So we can actually flick over to the approach, I believe. Nope. Can't do that. What does that say? Anti-ice. I'll turn off the anti-ice. Don't need that. I'm trying to turn these off as well. I'm going to start the APU actually. Get that going. So that'll be ready in a moment. We're on the approach. So that's it. Now the plane is using the airport's approach system. So it will be using the ILS in a moment. This is it here. So it's just shimming us over to this magenta line, and then you're going to see like a diamond appear here, and then when everything's lined up, we basically put it on the ILS approach, and everything's good. But we can keep it on the map mode for the moment. Take it down to 10 miles. And when the airport's in sight, we take it down to 5. The airport for us is in sight, but... Right, landing checklist. Speed brake, armed. Check. Landing gear, down. Check. Flaps. Well, when we get lower, we'll set them. Not yet though. We're still like 40 miles away from the airport. Still got plenty to go. We are still on the approach. So this is it here. This landing thing here. So if I go back to map, set that for 5 miles. Speed brakes out, that's a caution for it. So when this diamond gets onto that line there, I can hit the ILS and the plane will land itself. But obviously the flare, I don't know what it will do to that. We might have to flare it at the end. So it's coming up. It's just like, it's basically aligning itself with the glide slope system from the airport, which it literally is about to do in a moment. I mean, we probably put our wheels down just like a little bit early, but that's fine. It's usually around 3,000 feet anyway. And then once we set to the localizer, we can actually then, for our missed approach speed, so if we do a missed approach, it's climb direct to DB755, and then on track 315 to D8, sorry, 756 at 4,000 feet. So we just reset this to 4,000 feet. So there's the Spired building in Dubai. In all honesty, I thought we were going to fly over the ocean bit and see, you know, those islands, but we're coming in from a completely different direction, so we didn't get to see that. But if we do a missed approach, we will. So okay, glide slope is just coming in a line. I think it should actually beam up something when it does. So... Nice chill descent here, 185. Our landing speed was a 162, I believe. So we just dial that in as well. Don't see the pappies, to be honest. Right, so we're coming up to that glide slope thing now, so pretty sure I can hit the localizer now. No, not yet. No, it's not having any of it. Okay, well, we're going to put this down to 162.
2500.
That's our thingy. We're going to set flaps 30. And we're going to land this sucker. I don't know why that's not clicking over. We are literally on the glide slope of the ILS now, so that should click in, to be honest. But it's not for some reason, so I hope it's gonna be okay. Right, well, there's nothing else to do but sit and wait, really, so... Yeah. It's coming in perfectly, so we're fine. Maybe it already is. Maybe I'm being silly, but maybe it already is. Don't know. Buildings.
Too high.
Oh.
Approaching. 30.
Okay.
Right.
This is it now. 700 feet. So when we get to 200. Or 300. Too low, evidently. Right, we are going to do the pull up now. So, autopilot off, auto throttle off.
Approaching.
Get that.
30. Right.
There we go. Why are we going up? And when shouldn't we be going up? There we go.
Caution, taxiway. Caution, taxiway.
Taxiway my ass.
Sink rate.
Come on, pull it up, pull it.
30. 20. 10.
Boom. That seems alright, doesn't it? That seems legit. Reversers. Boom. Let's see what Project Fly says for that. Dude, that's a pass. Minus 73. Oh yeah, baby. We just passed our airline transport pilot's license. Dudes, I'm an official trainee first officer. Thank you very much. Mic drop. Right, reverse is back in. Flaps up. Speed brake armed. Which way are we going? Should we go to the left? Let's go to the left.
4,000 feet.
He's supposed to go to the right,
remaining.
to be fair. Yeah, he's supposed to go to the right. I went to the left. Oh well. Right, we're going to stop here. There we go. We're going to call GSX out. And we are going to a gate that is suitable. Gate A1. A1 for number 1. That's what we want. Right. Landing checklist complete. After landing checklist, landing lights back off. Go on, flick them. That's that done. That's that done. Strobe lights. I didn't realise you have to turn them off, but whatever's. APU should be online now, but it doesn't look like it is. I did start it, so I don't know what happened there. Like, okay. Flaps up, speed brake down, weather radar off. Turn off the weather radar and the data. Turn off the TCAS. And wait for the follow me car to arrive. Here he comes. I'm surprised my APU ain't on. That is a shock. Because, like I did, maybe it takes a really long time to whirl up. I don't know. Let me just press these and see what happens. Turn the packs off. Actually, no, leave the packs on. I don't know. He's here, though. Let's go. Where's he gone? There he is. Right then, let's go to the gate. Man, I can't believe I got minus 73. Dude. That is how you do it. Oh, man, I can't believe it, man. This is it. I've passed my license, guys. Oh, my gosh. I don't believe it. Hey, can you believe that, guys? That's it, man. I've passed my license now. Passed my license and I'm at a flight school. I'm an official trainee first officer now, and I'm ranking up with every flight. Right, I guess we have to turn... Hang on a second. He wants me to go that way. Where's he going? Whoa, he's turning as well. Dude, what are you doing? Hey, Speedy Gonzales. What? This dude's like a cat. Look at him. Where's he go? He's just shot off like an animal. Where's he going? Right. Is this how they operate it in Dubai? Or they just hire mental... Where's he going? He's here. Look at him. Where's he going? Because he hasn't been revoked or anything. He's expecting me to follow him at that speed. Dude, you can do one. Revoke him. Oh wait, he's coming back. No, he's not. He's just buggered off. Yeah, get rid of him. Honestly. Request another follow me car, please. Oh, my life. It's just crazy people here in Dubai. It's the sun, isn't it? It's gotten to him. Oh, there's a bug here. Look, a couple of bugs splattered on our windshield. Oh, dear. I don't know. Anyway, guys. What happens when you complete the flight school? You get your airline transport certificate. There you go. Boom. I'll frame that one. That one's going in now with the others. With all my other certificates. But you frame them, put them on the wall. There we go. I'm honestly, I can't believe it. Honestly, I started flight school back before COVID. Like, that's how long I've been doing it. I'll sort that out later. I think it was like January or February. I'll have to check me license. Alright, here we go. Let's see what he does now. Dude, we're following you. Why are you reversing? Why is he reversing? I can't see him. He's gone. I'm a 747, dude. I'm huge. You can't just disappear between me feet. Where's he going? Where's he going? Does he want me to go that way? Right, let's go that way then. I mean, I can't turn like that. I'm a 747. I'm a bloody Jumbo, aren't I? We can't turn on a dime. But he wants me to. Or we can turn on a dime. I didn't realise it had that maneuverability. Right. And that's it basically, guys. Like, I've just now got to get this sucker to the gate and then put it back into cold and dark state, and then that's it, complete. So so that's it for the licenses, the Virtual Pilot Life licenses. Flight School, we finished that. We now start the career mode. So I will still do cargo flights, but I will do cargo flights with smaller planes, maybe do the odd one in the Jumbo, but they'll mainly be small planes, and then we'll use the larger planes for passengers. So the next video you're gonna see is a passenger plane that we fly. Clearly it's gonna be out of Dubai because that's where we are right now, and it's gonna go somewhere, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to join Virtual Pilot Life, click the link down below. There's loads of other links down there as well, but Virtual Pilot Life Ground School sign up is down there. I think you watch a video and then you go to the website, you sign up. Registrations happen at the beginning of every single month. So September's registrations have already gone through. October's registrations will be going at the first of the month, and you go through ground school at your own pace, and then again registrations for your next phase or flight school happen at the beginning of every month. So it's going to take you a minimum of 1 month to complete ground school and move into flight school. That's just by the very nature of how the sign-ups work. Joined the hundreds already in ground school. And
1, 2, right.
No airplanes, it's fine, we're good. Join the hundreds that are already in ground school, and many more that will be joining flight school, and I shall see you guys in the virtual skies. Take care, bye bye.